Good morning, Cullman. Thank you for joining us on Cullman Today. I'm your host, Christine Wiggins, and today is Tuesday, August 12th. Coming up on Cullman Today, State House District 12 special primary runoff election is today. Who's paying whom? Updates on Districts 11 and 12. And Cullman Parks to host forums on community theater and East Side Park. All of this plus sports, weather, and more. Now let's take a closer look at the top stories happening in Cullman today. The State House District 12 special primary runoff election is today. On the ballot are Republicans Cindy Myrex and Clint Hollingsworth. Polls are open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. The winner will face Democrat Matthew Glover in the State House District 12 special general election on Tuesday, October 28. With election days upon us for Alabama House Districts 11 and 12, the Tribune has updated its look at the publicly available campaign finance records of each candidate filed with the Alabama Secretary of State's office. Information was taken directly from the Secretary of State's website, preserving the exact spelling of each name as contained in the finance reports. The only corrections made were commas added to the monetary sums of $1,000 and up that lacked them in the reports. The updates are featured in today's Cullman Tribune and can be accessed at cullmantribune.com. Cullman Parks Recreation and Sports Tourism will hold 2 public forums this month to gather community input on 2 major projects, the Center of the Arts Community Theater and East Side Park. The first forum is Thursday, August 14th at 5:30 p.m. at 303 Clark Street Northeast. It will focus on the future community theater, exploring programming ideas, performance needs, and ways the renovated venue can serve all ages, from children's arts education to adult productions, music, and community events. The second forum is Monday, August 18th at 6 p.m. at the Omniplex on Field of Miracles Drive. This session will center on Eastside Park, where residents will review 3 proposed playground designs created from feedback gathered in July. The goal is to finalize a plan that fits the neighborhood's vision. Both forums will start with a brief project overview, followed by open conversation and interactive feedback stations. No RSVP is required, and everyone is encouraged to attend. City officials say these projects are part of a larger commitment to creating public spaces with, not just for, residents, ensuring the community has a direct hand in shaping Cullman's arts and recreation opportunities. And that's all for our top stories this morning. Coming up next, the Good Hope Raiders eye another big season in 2025. Sports is next. Welcome back. The Good Hope Raiders are preparing for another big year on the gridiron after an impressive 2024 season that saw them rack up 10 wins, capture a regional championship, and host a playoff game. Head coach Alan Scott, entering his 11th season, says the team's summer work has built strong chemistry and leadership, key ingredients for another successful run. The Raiders will return 7 starters on both offense and defense, giving them plenty of experience to lean on, despite losing some impact seniors to graduation. A major storyline for 2025 is the return of quarterback Parker Johnson, who was sidelined in last year's opener due to injury. He returned late in the season, but now enters the fall healthy, ready to lead the offense from the start. With veteran talent around him, Scott is optimistic about their ability to execute and compete at a high level. The Raiders will open with a jamboree at Pisgah before their first official test, a county rivalry matchup at home against West Point on August 29th. Fans are hopeful this year's team can match or even surpass the success of last season. And that wraps up sports for today. Coming up next, Little Farmers at the Agriplex. Wallace State celebrates Occupational Therapy Assistant graduates. JSU professor gains national spotlight, and Purple Heart Memorial Service honors local heroes. Welcome back. Now it's time to speed things up with a news rundown. 4 stories in under 4 minutes. The North Alabama Agriplex continues its Jan Brett series this Friday from 10 to 11 a.m. during their Little Farmers program, a monthly preschool program for 3 to 5-year-olds. Jan Brett's books have been loved by many for decades, and her book, Armadillo, Rodeo, will be the centerpiece for Friday's story time, stations, craft, and snack. The cost to participate is $8. You can sign your child up to attend at agriplex.org. Wallace State Community College marked a milestone this week as more than 40 students graduated from its Occupational Therapy Assistant program. The class of 2025 was honored during a pinning ceremony on Tuesday, August 5th at the James C. Bailey Center Auditorium. The graduates completed rigorous coursework, hands-on labs, and field work to earn their pins and take the next step toward their careers in healthcare. Faculty praised the group for resilience, flexibility, and compassion, qualities vital to the OTA profession. This year's class also celebrated personal milestones, with 4 students welcoming new babies during their studies. Co-presidents Tyree Bothell and Savannah Patterson reflected on the journey from uncertain students to confident practitioners ready to make a difference in patients' lives. With their training complete, the new OTAs are set to begin careers dedicated to helping others live life to the fullest. Jacksonville State University professor Joseph Scott Morgan has become one of the nation's most recognized true crime experts, known for his work on high-profile cases, most recently the Idaho student murders. Morgan, who teaches in JSU's Forensic Investigations Department, has appeared in documentaries, TV series, and podcasts, including Peacock's The Idaho Student Murders. The series detailed the 2022 killings of 4 University of Idaho students and the investigation that led to the arrest and conviction of Brian Kohberger. Kohberger pleaded guilty in July and was sentenced to life in prison. Morgan's analysis in the case earned national attention, but his work extends far beyond one investigation. He also hosts the podcast Body Bags, exploring both notorious and overlooked crimes. Discussions are underway to adapt the show for television, potentially bringing cameras to the JSU campus. Morgan uses every media appearance to spotlight JSU's criminal justice and forensic investigation programs, which recently moved into the state-of-the-art Ramona Wood building, featuring specialized labs, a crime scene house, and a courtroom. He says it's all part of training the next generation of forensic scientists and putting JSU on the map. The 2025 Purple Heart Memorial Service was held Saturday at the Purple Heart Monument in Sparkman Park, honoring fallen warriors from Cullman and Morgan counties. Hosted by Chapter 2212 of the Military Order of the Purple Heart, the ceremony paid tribute to those killed in action, as well as veterans wounded in service who have since passed away. Names engraved on the monument were read aloud, with a solemn bell rung after each. When possible, a Purple Heart flag was presented to a family member or close friend. This year, 3 names were newly added to the monument: Korean War veteran and chapter charter member James Cooper, World War II veteran William Puckett, and Cullman native John Robert Tekulve. The service concluded with playing of the taps, closing the day with a moment of reflection and gratitude for the sacrifices made. For more information on the monument or to add a name, contact Commander Clifford Gazelle at 256-338-5617. And that's your 4 stories in under 4 minutes. Now for a quick break before we look at the weather ahead and pay our respects with obituaries. I'll be right back after this quick message. Let's take a moment to pause and remember those who have lost their lives this week. Funeral services for Samuel Ricky Jones will be held at New Prospect Baptist Church in Hanceville on Wednesday, August 13th at noon, with burial to immediately follow at the New Prospect Baptist Church Cemetery. Visitation will also take place on Wednesday from 10 a.m. to noon at New Prospect Baptist Church. Angela Renee Knighton Smith, age 43 of Vinemont, passed away on Sunday, August 10th. Funeral service will be at 10 a.m. on Thursday, August 14th at Cullman Heritage Funeral Home, burial at Holly Pond Cemetery. Visitation will be from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. on Wednesday, August 13th at Cullman Heritage Funeral Home. Heath Eric Massey, age 40 of Vinemont, passed away on Wednesday, August 6th. A visitation will be held Thursday, August 14th from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. at Moss Service Funeral Home Chapel, followed by a funeral service at 3 p.m. Our thoughts and prayers go out to their friends and families. Now, let's take a moment to look ahead at the weather forecast. Today will be partly sunny with a high near 85 and a 60% chance of showers and storms in the afternoon. Tonight, mostly cloudy with a low around 70. Wednesday, partly sunny with a high near 87, but a 70% chance of rain. Wednesday night, mostly cloudy with a low around 70. And that wraps up today's edition of Cullman Today. Thank you for sharing your morning with us. And remember to stay connected by following us on social media and visiting CullmanTribune.com for the latest from our community. We'll be back bright and early tomorrow morning at 6:30 a.m. Until then, I'm Christine Wiggins with Cullman Today. Have a wonderful day, Cullman.